And for the next presentation, we have been joined by QuiaPEG and CEO Marcus Bosson. Welcome.
Thank you very much. My name is Marcus Bosson. I'm the CEO and co-founder of QuiaPEG Pharmaceuticals, a biotech company located in Uppsala. We have developed a proprietary drug delivery platform for releasable pegylation, and it's one of the very few technologies available on the global market. Last year we wrapped up a successful scale-up of a synthesis of our platform, which we call Uni-Qleaver, and that's a true game changer, and I will get back to that later. We have established proof of concept in 2 projects, both with blockbuster potential, and we have a broad and growing patent portfolio with key patents recently approved in the European Union and the United States. We have also recently strengthened the business development team in order to focus on business development to strike licensing deals. And we have been listed on Nasdaq First North since August 2020. The team, I will not go in detail, but it's me. We have Dr. Savadjon, who is the head of operations, and Vidar, who is the chief medical officer, and Achim, who is the head of non-clinical development. And as I mentioned, the business development team was just recently reinforced by Dr. Erik Lund and Dr. Lars Öhman from Cordato Life Science. And they have experience from Merck, Sharp & Dohme, Caro Bio, and a bunch of other companies with a very good proven track record. Our key assets, so what are they? Well, we have a platform itself, Uni-Qleaver, which is available for R&D collaborations and eventually licensing deals. It's a drug delivery platform, and it's very versatile. So it's suitable for small molecules, peptides, large molecules, and it's based on this advanced releasable linker chemistry, which we have protected now. We also have a product pipeline to show that this Uni-Qleaver platform works, and the project itself is also available for partnering. So we have 2 projects. It's a QuiaPEG 1030 PEG tetraglutide, where we have shown preclinical proof of concept last year. It's for orphan drug indication called short bowel syndromes and other indications. And the 1029 PEG liraglutide, a blockbuster drug sold by Novo Nordisk. And we have also there shown proof of concept in preclinic, and it's for type 2 diabetes and obesity. So what is the Uni-Qleaver platform doing, and how does it work? Well, it's universal. It's releasable by either enzymes or pH. pH, we have all the same, 7.4, so it's very predictable release. It's efficient. It's a complete release of original drug. It's also modified. We can modify the release time from hours to weeks. Eventually, this leads to fewer doses, and it's good for the patients and a low-cost society. And if you look at the picture down below, you can see the Uni-Qleaver in the middle. You have to the left PEG and to the right drug. And when it's coupled like this, it's a prodrug. That means it's biologically inactive. And then when it's injected into the bloodstream, it will eventually release the active drug, which then becomes biologically active. And the PEG and the linker, those are cleared through the systems, the kidneys and the liver. And it's a broad range of applications here. It's for novel peptide development programs or small molecules and biologics to achieve a better dosing regimen. It's also enabling the druggability of biomolecules, where you might see a good biological effect, but challenging PK data. So we can then achieve a releasable drug with prodrug properties. And also for those companies with maybe blockbusters or very good drugs, the patent cliff is approaching. So they could apply our Uni-Qleaver platform in order to bring new life in an old drug, and also get an improvement of existing drug from once daily injection to maybe once weekly or once monthly injection. And then we can also apply for a new patent. If we look at the competitive field for our technology, it's a handful, I usually say. And if we look at this list of companies, Ascendis, Nektar, and well-established companies in this field. However, they don't sell any licenses according to our sources, and when it comes to the fourth one on that list, Armonix, that's a different method for achieving the same thing of a releasable drug. And that was just announced in January this year, that Sanofi would acquire the company and pay up to, or pay $1.25 billion for the Extend technology. It's located in California. And Prolinx, that's a privately held small company, non-listed. And as far as I know, they are more focused on hydrogels. So we are quite unique in this field of drug delivery platform. So let me go into a little bit of the projects we have. Pegylated tetraglutide, or the pegylation of GLP-2. The existing drug, it's called Gattex or Revestive. It's marketed by Takeda. It's for short bowel syndrome. It's an orphan drug indication. It's a very, very nasty disease to have this short bowel syndrome. So this is the only drug on the market, tetraglutide. It's with daily injections, a very cumbersome preparation before injection. And it's a chronic disease, so you need to take it lifelong. So there is a large unmet medical need for an efficient GLP drug with once weekly administration. And also the competition in this field is not too strong, I would say. You have Zealand Pharma and you have Vectiv Bio in Switzerland, which is maybe the fiercest competitor to ours. But the global market for SBS is estimated to be worth $2 billion. So by 2030. So even if Vectiv Bio or anyone else would be successful reaching the market, there is still room for more than one player. So we are quite optimistic about this project. And we have shown some very encouraging data in the preclinic. For instance, we have shown it's a prodrug, and as you can see, the blue curve, it's tetraglutide. As expected, it looks like this, and the 1030, our pegylated tetraglutide, it's down there in green. That means it's biologically inactive. Also, we have done a proof of concept study, and it's basically you pull out the small intestine from an animal, and after a week's administration, and you look at weight and length. And we have done different doses, and as you can see, we have also compared to tetraglutide and the apraglutide, which is our competitor in Switzerland. And as you can see, the green one and the purple one, if you compare, we are as good as the apraglutide, which is dosed for once weekly. So we are very optimistic about these results. So basically, what we have shown in proof of preclinical studies, that we have a slow release after subcutaneous dosing. We also have a flat profile in which reduce variation over time, and we have seen growth and weight of this small intestine when you look at it. So it's compatible with weekly dosing interval. And if we look at the competitive landscape for this, it's the short bowel syndrome. We have Takeda, which has the original drug, Vectiv Bio, the Swiss publicly quoted company in Switzerland, apraglutide, Zealand Pharma, a Danish company, and some other more companies. But even though some of them are in phase 3 clinical trials or phase 1, we still have the advantage that we use a proven, already approved drug called tetraglutide, and it's marketed by Takeda. So we have a lot to gain here, and maybe we also can have an abbreviated version when it comes to the regulatory approval. That means a less lengthy and a less costly clinical studies. So if we look at the other project, pegylated liraglutide, which is a GLP-1, it's sold by Novo Nordisk. It's a $4 billion drug annually. The patent expires soon. It's administered daily by injection. And what we're trying to establish is a pegylated version, which is administered once weekly, potentially with less adverse events and better tolerability. We have also filed a patent for this, which would expire 2038. And in our proof of concept study, we looked at the food intake. So you measure how much they drink and eat during 1 week. We compared it with semaglutide, liraglutide. And as you can see from this one, we are slightly better than semaglutide, which is Novo Nordisk follow-up drug on liraglutide. Semaglutide is taken once weekly, and we aim at also once weekly administration. To summarize the 1029 project, we believe we have a competitive asset. We have seen proof of concept in rats. We have done mini-pig studies where we have shown slow release profile. And also we aim at once weekly administration, and due to its function as a prodrug, we can then piggyback on all the relevant published data on liraglutide. So that means we can probably save time and also money in the clinical development. So let me, I'm approaching the end here, but this is really what we are selling. It's the patent families. If we have shown that this works eventually in human clinical trial, then it's down to the patent situation. And I'm very happy that last year we were allowed a patent in the European Union. And also we got a notice of allowance in the US by the end of last year. So I would say we are pretty well protected here. And also we have for the permanent pegylation the same linker, about 20 other patents granted. So it's quite well established now, this concept of the Uni-Qleaver. So what does it look like moving forward? Well, we have, regarding the 1030, we will have pretty soon preclinical results, additional one, which would lay the foundation for the candidate drug selection of 1030. We are in discussions to have some kind of a strategic collaboration agreement with a partner for further development and financing of this project. And also we will plan to do a meeting with the Swedish Medical Product Agency, and also later on this year apply for orphan drug indication in the European Union and United States. And on the business development side, I would say the focus this year is business development. It's licensing collaboration deals regarding the platform Uni-Qleaver. We will prioritize the 1030 pegtidaglutide project because it's an orphan drug indication. We will seek, and we are seeking actively, a partnership for the 1029, the PEG liraglutide. And furthermore, we will draw upon the network we have in China. We already have collaborations, and now when COVID is gone, we can travel more freely. Hopefully this network and also the established collaborations that could lead eventually to a full licensing agreement, one or a few others in China. So let me, this is the last slide. We are right now we have announced that we will try to raise additional funding for the company. So we have a share issue later on in April, May. And we are seeking 28 million kronor. It's guaranteed to 100%. And the price per unit is 1 krona, so you get 5 shares, and then you get stock options, subscription rights for October and April next year. And also the management, the board, and other major owners, they have subscribed for 3 million kronor, and subscription period will be 20th of April to May 4th. And I hope you enjoy the presentation and that you find our company interesting. So I think that's the last slide.
Thank you. You were talking towards the end here about the focus on business development. Could you elaborate a little bit on where you are in that process, maybe in particular in terms of the Chinese connections that you have?
Yes, well, we have a good network in China, and we have a few collaborations since before, and we have, unfortunately, we have not been able to travel to China due to the COVID, but still we have those connections and collaborations, and I hope we have also gained a few new interesting parties, so I hope we can get something out of it during this year. And also we have said that with a foundation of a scalable linker, which was successful last year with 2 granted patents, Europe and United States, and with a proof of concept for the PEG tetraglutide. So let's focus on business development and also Europe and United States. So that's why we have this. We have hired this Dr. Erik Lund and Lars Öhman to do it in a more systematic and forced way, so to speak. So hopefully during this year we will be able to close, I hope, 1 or more collaborations. Yeah.
And I was also wondering, aside from the projects that you have today, how do you view the platform's potential in other indications?
Well, that's the good thing about QuiaPEG. If you have a drug delivery platform, you know, you can slice it in different, a lot of ways. And so that means we have a platform itself, which we could out-license to any drug company in need of that kind of technology. And then we have our own projects, where we might be able to get more money out of such a deal. So it's upfront and the milestone payments, royalties, and the further you develop it yourself, the more you get in royalties, for instance, or milestone payments and upfront. So it's a trade-off, how much resources we have, but because, or thanks to, it's already approved drugs, liraglutide and tetraglutide, we know that the drug works. So the question is more, can we get the combination to work in a way that we can go from once daily to once weekly? And once that has been established, it's quite it's called a bio-better, and then it's quite attractive for anyone in especially the big pharma companies with original drugs for this life cycle management. So so that's it's in liraglutide's case, it's Novo Nordisk, and in tetraglutide's case, it's Takeda, a big Japanese company.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to present the company and answering my questions.
Yep, thank you very much.
Thank you.